Black hole stars might have been the biggest stars that ever formed. They shone brighter than entire galaxies, and were larger than anything in existence today, or that could ever exist in the future. But beyond their sheer size, what really makes them extraordinary and strange is that, deep within, they hosted a cosmic parasite, a black hole that was endlessly hungry. You're watching video from ThinkNova. How could that even happen? Black hole stars amplify the bizarre nature of black holes to an extent that defies everything we understand about star formation and growth. They could only have formed during a brief period in the early universe, but if they really did, they'd help solve one of the biggest riddles in cosmology. In every sense, black hole stars were off the charts. Today's most massive stars might be around 300 times the mass of the Sun, but a black hole star could have reached up to 10 million solar masses of nearly pure hydrogen. Let's pause to picture that. The Sun, Wesen, LL Pegasi, the largest star we know. And finally, the black hole star. Its size is almost impossible to describe. More than 800,000 times wider than our Sun, and 380 times bigger than the largest star known today. Deep beneath its surface, a black hole is growing at an incredible rate, devouring billions of tons of matter every second. Usually, stars form from massive clouds containing thousands to millions of solar masses, mostly made of hydrogen. Within these clouds, matter begins to clump around the densest areas. As they get denser, their gravity grows stronger, and they accumulate mass more quickly. Eventually, they produce so much heat and pressure that fusion reactions start, giving birth to a new star. But this caps their size. Fusion releases enough energy to blow away the nearby gas, preventing the new star from picking up more mass. From that point on, the star exists in a delicate balance between two opposing forces. Gravity pulling inward, trying to compress the star, and the radiation from fusion pushing outward, trying to tear it apart. After millions or even billions of years, the core uses up its fuel, the balance collapses, and the star is destroyed. But black hole stars were completely different. The beasts of the early universe. Just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, when everything was much smaller, every bit of matter was packed in much more tightly. The universe was far denser and hotter. Dark matter took center stage, creating huge structures called dark matter halos. These dark matter halos were so huge that they dragged in and collected staggering amounts of hydrogen gas, turning into the cradles for the very first stars and galaxies. Colossal hydrogen clouds formed, some with the mass of 100 million suns, surpassing the mass of small galaxies. In this one-of-a-kind environment, which won't ever return, the intense gravity of the dark matter halos pulled gas into their centers and formed extremely massive stars. As mentioned, a new star typically blasts away its birth cloud, but these colossal gas clouds in the early universe were so huge and heavy that even after the star formed, more and more gas continued to pile on, driving the star to unimaginable sizes. The infant star is compelled to keep growing, accumulating more mass until, in some situations, it reaches 10 million times the mass of our Sun. Under this extreme weight, its core keeps heating up, trying frantically to push outwards and tear the star apart. But it fails. There's simply too much mass and too much pressure. Balance can't be maintained. It's like a supernova in fast motion. The core is crushed into a black hole. Under normal circumstances, that would be it. Modern stars go supernova, a black hole is formed, and the story ends. But in this scenario, the star endures its own demise. An enormous explosion rips through the star from within, but it's not enough. This star is too huge and too massive for even a supernova to obliterate it. Now at its center, there is a black hole. It's minuscule, only a few dozen kilometers across, yet it sits in the middle of an object the size of our solar system. The monster grows, Stars form from gas that collapses and spins faster and faster, so they themselves spin. When a black hole is created from a star's core, it keeps that angular momentum. This means that any infalling matter doesn't just plummet straight in. It starts circling the black hole in tighter and tighter loops, moving faster and faster. This creates an accretion disk, where gas whips around at nearly the speed of light. At any moment, only a small portion of this gas actually gets swallowed. In essence, black holes lay out a huge feast, but only take tiny bites. But life is rough for the matter stuck in the accretion disk. Friction and collisions among particles heat it up to millions of degrees. Actively feeding black holes develop accretion disks that are extremely hot and powerful. The heat from the disk further limits how much a black hole can consume. Just like a star's core, the superheated material produces radiation that drives away most of the available matter. So even with all the food it could want, a black hole can only grow at a limited rate. But a black hole sitting inside a black hole star works differently. The immense pressure around it forces matter straight into the black hole, bypassing all the usual limitations on consumption speed. This action is incredibly intense, releasing so much energy that the accretion disk becomes even hotter and sends out more radiation pressure than any star's core ever could. Enough to counter the weight of 10 million suns. An unbelievably precarious balance forms, millions of solar masses pressing inward, while the fierce radiation from a superfed black hole pushes outward. For a few million years, the black hole star is eaten from the inside out. The black hole grows to thousands of solar masses, and the bigger it becomes, the faster it devours matter, which raises the star's temperature even further and makes it expand. In its last stage, the black hole star is over 30 times the width of our solar system, truly the biggest star ever to exist. Intense magnetic fields at its core launch jets of plasma from the black hole's poles, blasting through the star and streaming into space, making it a beacon across the cosmos. It must have been one of the most jaw-dropping views in the universe, but it also signaled the end. The star becomes overstretched, and the accretion disk grows too powerful, allowing the parasite to tear apart its host. A black hole packing the mass of 100,000 suns breaks free, roaming for fresh prey, leaving only the remains of the star behind. The supermassive question. If black hole stars ever existed, they might solve one of the universe's biggest puzzles. The supermassive black holes found in galaxy centers are simply too large. They shouldn't be feasible. Black holes that form from standard supernovas usually max out at a few dozen solar masses. And given the process described, they enlarge slowly after that point. If black holes merge, they can form somewhat bigger black holes, exceeding 100 solar masses. It should theoretically require billions of years to grow black holes that weigh in at hundreds of thousands, or even millions of solar masses. However, we've found certain supermassive black holes that reached 800 million solar masses, just 690 million years after the Big Bang. Black hole stars act like a cheat code for black holes. If they appeared in the early universe and produced black holes weighing thousands of solar masses, they could have served as the seeds for supermassive black holes. Those seeds might have settled at the heart of the first galaxies, merging with other black holes and pulling in enough matter to expand quickly and steadily. We may soon be able to confirm they once existed. The James Webb Space Telescope is already scanning the universe's farthest edges, peering back in time to an early universe we've never witnessed before. If we're fortunate, we'll catch some hints of these immense, short-lived titans in the fleeting period between their creation and annihilation. Until then, let's take one more imaginative trip, just for the thrill. Stars are large. Black hole stars are even larger. Imagine venturing into the depths of the young cosmos, where the very fabric of space was still roiling with heat and energy. In this primeval darkness, scattered halos of dark matter gathered vast oceans of hydrogen, ready to birth these colossal black hole stars. Floating through that era, you'd see gas clouds so massive that they dwarfed modern galaxies, glowing faintly as gravity forced them to coalesce. Within those clouds, one by one, monstrous stars would ignite, each an inferno many millions of times the mass of our sun. The light from their surfaces would outshine entire galaxies, yet their true engines of destruction lay hidden deep inside. Ravenous black holes, siphoning matter relentlessly.